Okay. So funny because I feel like oftentimes we always try to control. We do. We try to control so much of our lives. We try to control every single little aspect. Oftentimes most times going against what our intuition is actually telling us to do. Because when it comes to like higher realms, spirituality, like the universe, like you have to operate based on what she is asking you to do. And most of the time, it's hard to differentiate our intuition between all the other voices, especially if you haven't been doing the work to really look inside and start to undo some of the processes that are like just handed to us from the moment we're born, right? Like all these different ways and rules and way we're supposed to live our lives and things we're supposed to believe are feasible, possible, and things that are like, not possible. And it's just, and I'm talking about like basic things, right? When it comes to something such as like you hear the term pipeline dream or like be reasonable when you're like trying to think of different things you want to try to do, and it's just like, I don't know, there's no real belief put into us as individuals unless you're brought up that way. And I feel like when you're usually brought up that way, it's either because your family's been into spirituality for like a while now, right? For like generations, and this is something you guys have seen and sustained in your family for generations, or it's because you're like, it's like nepotism, and it's just like you believe you can have whatever you want because of your position, but really it all comes back to like manifesting the life that you want. Like you have to be able to believe it, and in the society that we like live in and the rules we're given, it like really discourages us from pursuing our dreams and our passions and our desires, and oftentimes even puts us in a position where we don't even realize that these dreams, passions, desires are like there, because we get stuck in the what we call the matrix, right? You get stuck in the matrix and you don't even have time to process like what you do enjoy, what your likes and dislikes are, because it feels like, you're working your 9 to 5, you're 5 days a week, some people more hours, which is crazy. It's ludicrous. Like, this is life. We're supposed to be here living and enjoying, not working jobs we have no interest or passion in. If you have an interest and passion in your job, like that's the most important thing. you know Create a life of freedom for yourself, chase your dreams, chase your passions. But in the world we've been brought up on, it's just often like we were not able to pursue what we want, because oftentimes we don't even know what we like, right? Like for me personally, and I don't know if I just switched or not in the way that I'm talking. We're gonna go with it anyways. This is how it goes, guys. We're human. This is the way my brain works, and I'm just gonna let it flow. But for me personally, I switched to 4-day work weeks, and because I just felt like I didn't have time to like do the things I wanted to do. And like I do want to say, like, I feel like this was a tool I utilized, right? It was a tool for me to get me to where I'm going, to get me to be able to like pour more into myself. And so that was kind of the first step for me. It was just like I started doing 4-day work weeks. And granted, I was working one longer shift, so getting just under 40 hours a week. But at the end of the day, the effects that had on my mental health and just like my ability to pour into myself, which was the entire goal, it was pivotal. It was a really pivotal part in this journey for me. It is a pivotal part. It was whatever. It was it's in the past at this point. So for me, like that was something I had to do for myself, because it allowed me the space and time to like to see that I have more time. And it's like 3 consecutive days off, right? And before this, it's like I'd already been working on like the lack mentality mindset, right? Like, because that's all also handed to us, that's given to us. When it comes to thinking how we can or cannot make money, and the ways like how hard we have to work to get this money, like it's all of that's given to you. Like I know for me personally, growing up, right, there's always like, shut the refrigerator door, money doesn't grow on trees. Are you going to pay for these bills? Like we can't get that, put it back. And just on and on and on. Like there's so many different ways. I was recently going through old Christmas cards and just cards in general from birthdays, and I had a bunch of them from my grandma, who would always, not always, but oftentimes, like many of those birthday notes, she wrote in there specifically like, sorry it's not much, sorry I can't do more, like those types of words, right? Like those all get ingrained into our psyche and our way of thinking and being, and how we think we can or cannot be abundant and accumulate abundance in this world. And I don't know, it's just so crazy to me. It all goes back to Like at the core, and I'm going to say it again, and I'll say it time and time again, because at the very core of all of this, it is a sense of self-love, right? And being able to change your mentality and undo those systems of the past. If we're not able to undo those systems, we're not going to be able to achieve the lives that we want, because those are like at your core, it is what you're attracting into your life, whether you want it or not. Unless you're doing the work to undo those beliefs in whatever way works for you, which I'm sure there's a bunch of different ways, which I'm going to be coming up with a way as well that'll hopefully be it'll work out. Because I'm co-creating with the universe at this point, and I feel like this is just, I don't know, I just feel so passionate about wanting to help other people evolve, right? And when I say evolve, like I mean that in like the realest sense that there is. Like I feel like as a society, like we see technology advancements and medical advancements, and then we're like, oh, we're such an evolved civilization. And it's just like, technology isn't the only way that we need to be viewing evolution, right? Like we need to, as humans, continue to evolve. That's what we've done, right? But for some reason, it feels like we've stopped. I don't even think that's necessarily true, because I feel like it's a lot easier to look at and like recognize the bad, but at the same time, we can also choose to recognize all the good that's happening. Like, and I'm seeing that in my personal life. Acquaintances, coworkers, like everyone's been changing, everyone's been growing, taking small steps, the change and taking control of their lives in little ways, which is like where it all starts, right? It starts with these little things. Like I could go back to when I was first getting onto this journey. I was trying things like bunch of different kind of like health and dieting things. I was trying things like I think they're called nootropics. It's basically like a more natural form of some sort of pill. So you could have one for like clarity, one for focus, one for, I don't even know what the other couple ones were they had, but you like make your own little blend. But yeah, just so many different things I'm trying, and that's where it all starts. It starts with like noticing that you have work that you need to do on yourself, noticing your own noticing and realizing how you are impacting your own life, right? And that you have power to do certain things. You have power to control certain things. You just have to start taking those steps. And when you start taking those steps, that starts guiding you into this journey. In my experience, this is my story, at least. I'm not, I think we all have our own stories, and we all have ways that we get brought onto the path and start our journeys. But it's such a beautiful thing, I guess, when it comes down to it, because like I'm chuckling, but it's because it's like I think about my past and my history and who I used to be and how I used to view the world and how I didn't want to be in this world, and just and I also am able to now recognize how all of that played a role in me becoming who I am today and who I continue to grow into. Like if none of that stuff, all these things had never happened to me, it wouldn't give me the perspective that I have. And so I think when I see someone in a dark place, or when I see people struggling, whether it's just like, their outward expression of it, or it's just like, I can pick up on these things within individuals that's showing me where work needs to happen and take place, right? And I just want everyone to be happy is really what it comes down to. Like I want everybody to be happy, and I think we're all very capable. I know we are all very capable of like being happy and living fulfilling lives. And I think for me, it's just, that's what it's all about, because I hated, and the time, like I just know how awful it is to be in a very dark place. And I know when you're there, it like seeing the light is not even, it doesn't even feel or seem possible or feasible. It just seems like it's gone. And I really, really hate that. And I don't want that for anybody. And then, so many of us are on autopilot, have been on autopilot. most of us. And we've all started waking up one by one. And I think I just really want to like accelerate that process because I know it's possible. And I know we can all get there. And I know that's where we're all headed. And this is just what I'm passionate about. You know, this is me chasing after my purpose, my passions, and co-creating with the universe first and foremost. Because the reality is, it's just like, I have my own ideas and my own visions and my own dreams and my own things that I want to create, that I'm going to create, that I'm currently creating. But at the same time, I know that the universe is who's really driving this vehicle. We're co-creating together, right? And that's the thing, because it's like you have to have trust, you have to have faith, because not nothing, but a lot of stuff's not going to seem to make sense, or you're not going to know where it's going to lead, and it's asking you to take a risk. Maybe it's leaving a job without having another job. Maybe it's selling a vehicle when you don't know if you're going to find another mode of transportation. Maybe it's ending a relationship that you just keep feeling called to do, but you've been scared. You know, there's so many different things. But when it comes to following your intuition and following that lead and like co-creating with the universe, you have to be more confident and sure in yourself, because it's going to ask you, and not even in yourself, in the universe. This is why faith is such a driving point behind spirituality as well, which I think gets lost on religious people. I think they don't necessarily understand how big having faith is in spirituality as well, right? Because things don't make and this has been the most difficult for me because things don't always make logical sense, right? You're not always going to know the why. And for me, that's tough. That's been like the toughest thing. And at this point, I'm kind of just like laughing when I find myself trying, like, you know, going in my head and be like, but wait, maybe this connected to that. And like, wait, why did it happen like this? And like, what is this? Trying to figure out the next step when you're not meant to figure out the next step, right? You're just meant to exist and play and have fun and do what feels good. Do what you feel called to do. And that's all you have to do. But to get there, you might already be there if you're watching this video. If you're not there, you're finding this video for a reason. You're probably on your path right now. And that's where you're going to head. And this video might find you exactly when you need it. Maybe it's finding you in the beginning, middle, end. I have no idea. But I'm trusting that it is going to find whoever it needs in the right moment. And I don't even plan these. Sometimes I feel like I'm rambling and I just let that go, right? Because that goes back to me having a lack of self-love, really. Because it's like at the end of the day, it's just like, why am I going to care? Why should you care what someone else thinks of you if it's like negative or they're judging you? Because at the end of the day, like, we're all human and we literally all have, I feel like I had an accent just then. We literally all have our own faults, right? Our own demons, our own shadows. And you can't fault someone else for having theirs when you also have your own. And we can't fault anyone when we see that there is a grand plan, a grand design, right? Like, you need to have certain faults and certain failures and certain shortcomings in order to learn your lessons and to be able to evolve. If we all just came here, like, we came here for a purpose, we came here to evolve, right? To learn. And I believe I feel like that we all have our own lessons and our own stories. But I feel like a lot of us, most of us, I feel like if we have not already, learning how to truly, truly love yourself is so important. It's of the utmost importance. Like, there is nothing that you could do to achieve what you want out of this life. There's nothing more important that you could there's nowhere more important that you could put your focus and our attention on outside of yourself and learning to truly acknowledge and love yourself and heal yourself. Because you do that, and everything else is going to just, it's just yours. It's just going to come to you. You're going to live your life in a way that doesn't even, you wouldn't have in the past thought feasible or possible. Same word, whatever. And I'd make it a really big point not to delete or edit my videos unless my phone dies and I gotta restart the video. Because I think it's important for us to see that we're all human, and I think it's also important for us to see things happening from point A to point B, right? So seeing my evolution and my growth happening in real time. And just to put all of our flaws and humanness out there, because it all needs to be accepted. Because we are humans, right? We are part human, no matter what. At the end of the day, you're still in a human vessel. And we're prone to so many different things. Our shadows don't need to be shamed. Our shadows should not be shamed. Because they're just a part of us. Nothing is innately good or bad. It just is. It just is. But we like to give labels to everything. But the fact of the matter is, it's just everything has a duality. So if you don't have the bad, then you're not going to have the good. If you don't have the bad, you're not going to learn the lesson, because there's nothing, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing. There's nothing. And sometimes when I'm making these videos, I think about because I watch other content creators, right? And it's easy to compare yourself sometimes. And this is crazy for me that I'm even making videos. But I laugh a lot. And I see other people who don't laugh as much and don't seem to have, I don't know, they seem more, I guess, serious, but still fun. And so then I'm am I being too, am I not taking myself seriously enough? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I think in some videos I am more, don't laugh and giggle as much. But that's a huge part of just me in general. And I've realized that I can just let that out, right? I don't have to, I'm just a happy person. I love laughing. I laugh at myself all the time. And I think there was a time in the past where I did utilize it to kind of slough off discomfort. But I don't think or feel that that's where I'm at this point in my life. I don't feel, it's just genuine joy. It's just genuine joy and love and appreciation and excitement. And I think it's good for people to see joy and happiness, right? We don't have enough of it going around, and it's so sad. Because that's one of the best feelings in the world, is when you are having such a great time and just in your own world, and people notice it and feel it, and it it affects them and lifts their mood up. That's some of the the best things people can tell me, coworkers have told me. It's just that your energy lifts them up as well, and so it is contagious. We all know this, energy is contagious. You got someone who's super sour in the room, it affects the people around them. You got someone who's super bright, lifts other people up. We all need a little bit more of that in our lives. Okay, well, thank you for listening to this. I hope you guys are well. I was gonna say great. Well, you guys seen Mean Girls? What is that line? Shoot. Gruel. I was trying to come up with a great and a well, but I was don't got it. Anyways, if you know, you know. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a really great day, or evening, night, morning, whenever it is you're finding this video. I am about to head out and go to a sound bath, so that should be exciting. Yeah. I don't know. I saw a poster, a flyer for it, and I was like, yes, we're going to try that. I've been to one other sound bath. It was actually outdoors, which was really nice. The weather was perfect that day. I believe this one's indoors and it's somewhere else entirely. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited though. God, this finger. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later. I love you so much. And next time. Bye.